Neil Orfield here, founder of the Flaniverse. If you don't know me, all you really need to know is that I'm obsessed with fantasy sports. I've been playing for decades, and I've won a lot of money at it, especially in DFS, where I've won the NFL Millie Maker on DraftKings, and if you remove the Millie Maker, I'd still be up hundreds of thousands of dollars with a dozen wins of $90,000 or more. In the past, I've primarily been a hand builder and an optimizer user, and I still think you can win that way, but in 2025, I think that's playing on hard mode. Most of the best DFS players on the planet right now are using Sims products. So this year, I've upped my game. I've partnered with Run the Sims, and on this channel, I'll be demonstrating throughout this NFL season how I'm using Run the Sims to try to win a lot of money again this year. I hope you'll join me and that we'll win a lot of money together. If you're interested in checking out Run the Sims, you can use promo code Neil to get 10% off your first payment on any of their products. By the way, if you haven't already done so, please do like this video and subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm trying to get to 6,000 subscribers by the end of the NFL season and could really use your support. Without further delay, let's get into how I'm setting up Run the Sims for the Week 7 NFL main slate on FanDuel. One of the things I love about Run the Sims is how customizable everything is. You can change things at the team level. You can change the number of points you expect a team to score, the number of plays you expect them to run, the rush rate versus pass rate. You can change things at the player level. You can change the rushing market share for a player or the receiving market share. All of that is customizable. So if you have takes that you think are different from the inputs, you can make those changes. However, for the first run of the Sims, I don't make any changes to the inputs because I want to see what the Sims are going to give me naturally. So the only changes I do is I make changes to the settings to reflect the types of contests that I'm playing. So I'm going to set the number of lineups to 10,000. I'm going to set the size of the contest field to 15,000 because I'm playing very large field contests. These will mimic those. Number of simulations to 10,000. I'll use the top heavy payout structure because, again, the large field contests that I play tend to have very top heavy payouts. And then I will click the Shady Portfolio Diversifier button. I'm going to set that to 150 lineups. What that's going to do is it's going to diversify the lineups within my portfolio. So instead of just getting, the top 150 lineups by EV and having to go and sort them out myself, the Shady Portfolio Optimizer optimizes your portfolio so you don't get lineups that cannibalize each other. You minimize your risk of ruin. Really powerful tool that comes from Shady Advice, one of the best DFS players in the world. It's sophisticated. I don't know how it works. It is a black box there, but I know it works well. I'm not making any changes to things like salary range, ownership range, anything like that, because that, the best lineup should be reflected in the Sims. I don't want to be telling the Sims what it should be giving me. The Sim should be telling me what looks good if you assume that the inputs are correct. Now, that it's all contingent on the inputs being good, but if the inputs are correct in terms of like projected ownership, in terms of market shares, all of that, then the Sim should be telling me what looks good based on the inputs. So I'm not going to make any changes here. If I get a lineup that only uses $55,000 salary, but it looks awesome in the Sims, I'm just going to let that happen. I'll happily play that lineup. But I'm going to click this SimRunner Pro button without any changes there. This is going to take a few minutes. I'm going to cut that part out of the video. All right, the first run of the Sims is in. I will just read off some of the top lineups I'm getting here, read off my player exposures, and talk about any adjustments I might want to make. So at the top, first lineup we're getting to is Justin Herbert double stacked with Keenan Allen and Quentin Johnston. We've got a Jonathan Taylor bring back on that. Also has DeAndre Swift, Trey Tucker, Harold Fannin Jr., Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, and the Chiefs defense. By the way, these are not in order because I'm using the Shady Portfolio Optimizer, so we're not just getting the lineups in order of the top EV, but still going to get a lot of the best EV lineups at the top. Second lineup is, again, a Justin Herbert double stack with Keenan Allen and Quentin Johnston. This one does not have a bring back from the Colts, has DeAndre Swift, Breece Hall, Tet McMillan, Dallas Goedert, Josh Jacobs, and the Browns defense. Third lineup, again, Justin Herbert with Quentin Johnston and Lad McConkey. Doesn't have any Colts, has Saquon Barkley, J.K. Dobbins, Jacoby Myers, Mason Taylor, Javonte Williams, and the Broncos defense. Fourth lineup I'll read off because finally it's not a Herbert stack. We've got Jaden Daniels triple stack with Chris Moore, Luke McCaffrey, and Zach Ertz in that one. Has a Javonte Williams bring back along with DeAndre Swift, Jonathan Taylor, Justin Jefferson, and the Giants defense. So those are some of the lineups I'm getting to at the top. Let's look at my player exposures. I'll start with the quarterbacks that I'm getting to in double digits, getting to 10% Patrick Mahomes, 14% Jaden Daniels, 21% Justin Herbert, 13% Caleb Williams. Those are all the quarterbacks I'm currently getting to in double digits. Running backs in double digits, I have 46% Jonathan Taylor, 43% Breece Hall, 21% Josh Jacobs, 27% Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, 21% Saquon Barkley, 23% Javonte Williams, 13% Quinshon Judkins, 25% J.K. Dobbins, 15% Devin Achane, 18% DeAndre Swift. No other running backs in double digits. Wide receivers in double digits have 15% Justin Jefferson, 11% Rashee Rice, 15% Rome Odunze, 21% Quentin Johnston, 11% Tetaroa McMillan, 19% Keenan Allen, 12% Stephon Diggs, 13% Jordan Addison, 15% Jacoby Myers, 11% Devontae Smith, 19% Elic Ayamanor, 12% Chris Moore. That's it as far as double digit wide receivers. Tight ends in double digits have 15% Tyler Warren, 12% Trey McBride, 19% Zach Ertz, 10% Dallas Goedert, 14% Michael Mayer, 11% Mason Taylor. That's it as far as double digits. Defense is pretty spread out, but I do have double digits of the Chiefs, the Browns, and the Broncos. As far as changes I like to make at quarterback, I think I'd like more Dak Prescott. He is more expensive on FanDuel at 8,300. Still think 4% is a bit light. I think that's a game that could go off. He's again projected for 10% ownership, so it's not like he's super contrarian on FanDuel, but I still think he is a strong play. So I might want to be a little bit closer to the field on Dak Prescott. Satisfied with my Mahomes and Jaden Daniels exposure. Justin Herbert, man, I don't know that I need 21%. I think that he is a strong play, but at 12% ownership, not exactly a huge priority. Happy that I'm getting to 13% Caleb Williams. That looks great. For the most part, not really seeing any other quarterbacks that are standing out to me as I must have more that I'm getting to right now. Like I kind of like Daniel Jones, but 7% feels fine. Kind of like Justin Fields, but I'm already getting 4%, which is 4x the field. That seems fine. Getting some Carson Wentz. So honestly, not a lot that I need to change at quarterback. At running back, I'd also say I'm generally satisfied with what I'm getting. Jonathan Taylor looks like a big priority. Happy to be getting well over the field there. Brees Hall, I'm not as sold on. 7,000 projected for 21% ownership. I'm currently getting to double the field. I think I'll probably cut back my Brees Hall, or at least as I try to get more of other running backs. If I lose some of that Brees Hall, I wouldn't be mad about that. Josh Jacobs, we're of course monitoring an injury. We don't know if he's going to be playing tomorrow. Packers did call up another running back. He's apparently dealing with a calf injury as well as an illness. So something to monitor there. At 9,200, like I could just cut out Josh Jacobs. I think I'd be okay with that. But if he's healthy, I'll want to have some exposure. Saquon Barkley getting 21%. Ja'Cory Krasky-Merritt looks too cheap at 6,600. I'm a little over the field there. That looks good. Wouldn't mind getting to more Javonte, but I'm already over the field there. I do like Quinshon Judkins, but he's coming in as the chalk, 23% projected ownership. So I'm getting to 13%. Seems fine. As I do really like Quinshon Judkins. I might want a little bit more, but I'm not far off from where I want to be. J.K. Dobbins for me is somebody that I've been prioritizing, and I'm already getting to 5x the field. So, yeah, this kind of the numbers that I'm getting here are pretty close to what I think I want on FanDuel. I don't see a ton that I need to make any major alterations to. So generally, this first run of the Sims, I'm not really seeing anything that I necessarily need to be making any drastic changes. Again, I wouldn't mind having a little bit less Brees Hall and prioritizing some of these other running backs, but it's not something that I'm, feeling the need that I need to make huge adjustments there. Wide receiver, again, I'm well below the field on CeeDee Lamb, projected for 31% ownership at 8,600. I do like, again, I want to get to some more Dak there. I assume I'll get to a bit more CeeDee Lamb. I wouldn't mind getting, a little bit under the field at 31%. I don't think I need to be under 1/3 of the field is what I'm getting to right now. Rashee Rice, more of a priority on DraftKings, where he's only 5,600 at 7,500, though still a fine price tag on FanDuel. I'm okay with that. Like that I'm getting to some QJ, some Rome, Jefferson. All of these exposures at the top look good. Jerry Jeudy at 5,700 kind of stands out as a great value against that Miami defense. We do have to monitor the weather in Miami. It might be tough to pass, but the $5,700 price tag for Jerry Jeudy, who was targeted pretty heavily in the last game, he's projected for 11% ownership, but in a nut matchup, I think I'd like a bit of Jeudy exposure along with Isaiah Bond. Is just 4,900, ran like 86% of the routes last week. I'm getting just 1% currently, but at 2% projected ownership, I think I'd like to be over the field on Isaiah Bond. Josh Reynolds, sort of interesting with Garrett Wilson out. Don't think he's going to step up and take on a huge target share because I think that's going to go to Mason Taylor. But at 5,400 on FanDuel, 1% ownership, I think that is a bet that you could make that Josh Reynolds just steps up and gets 8-10 targets in this game. If you think they're going to throw it much, so at 5,400, I think Josh Reynolds a pretty fair price that I think I'd like to be over the field on. Rashid Shaheed actually looks really good to me. 5,700 projected for 4% ownership. Currently, I'm just getting to 4%. I was debating if I want to get to some more Spencer Rattler than I'm getting. He is priced, 6,600, kind of a fair price on Rattler. I think that's a spot that I might attack a little bit, is get to some of the Saints passing game, which would include Shaheed as well as Rattler, and then of course Olave. I'm currently getting to 5%. Wouldn't mind getting a bit more Olave as well. So I do think the Saints are such a nice value stack that I could see myself getting to. I think I'll probably try to get to a bit more of Spencer Rattler, Rashid Shaheed, and Chris Olave. Generally, though, receiver is also not that far off from where I'd like to be. Tight end, some of the bigger priorities for me on the slate. Mason Taylor looks awesome at 4,700. I'm currently getting to 11%, so I'm already more than double the field. And then Harold Fannin against Miami, again, even in weather, just could be, a lot more short targets to Fannin. He's 5,500, so a lot more expensive than Taylor here, but 5% projected ownership. I would like to increase that because I think the target share could go up pretty significantly for Harold Fannin with David Njoku out. So that's going to be a little bit of a priority for me, is increasing that Fannin market share. But happy that I'm getting to a lot of Ertz, McBride, Warren. That all looks great to me. So I'm close enough to where I'd like to be right now that honestly, I think I can just do one run of the Sims here after making some adjustments, seeing what changes. I don't think I need to be going over and over in this video. I'm just going to make some slight adjustments, run the Sims one more time after making those adjustments and see what I get. Starting with the Panthers and Jets, I don't think I need to change anything on the Panthers side. Maybe I would increase Jalen Coker a little bit here on this 11% market share. Seems a bit light on Coker. Actually, I think I am going to do that. I'm going to flip Coker and Leggett. I think Coker going up against a Jets defense that doesn't have Michael Carter this week could be like just start off and immediately be great here. So I think Coker at this price tag, I'm going to flip the projected receiving market share of Coker and Leggett. First, I'm going to smart adjust. I'm going to bring Coker up to 14%, Leggett down to 11%, and then click normalize. On the Jet side, as I said, I love Mason Taylor here. Also think that Josh Reynolds is a fairly strong play at 5,400. I wouldn't mind getting to a little bit less of Breece Hall than I'm getting to currently. I think we're projecting him to just have a huge workload here for the Jets. And I was getting to like 43%.